Well, welcome everybody. Thanks for joining me for a quick take on what SuccessFactors announced yesterday about improving the performance management functionality. Improving performance management is quite crucial because we effectively know that performance management as of the state of today is broken. We know that there's less than one performance review per North American employee. We all know it should be more than one, should be more closer to two. We also know that the champagne bottles get open when the unfortunate news breaks out that performance management reviews are going to be cycled, not going to be happening, are going to be canceled. So something is wrong with performance management. Not everything, to make it clear, is with the software vendors. There's something inherently inside of humans that we don't want to rate people. We don't like to get rated. We don't like to give negative feedback or critical feedback. So we try to stay shy away from that. But the problem is, when performance management doesn't work, all of talent management is effectively broken, right? We see that recruiting, I don't know where to hire high potential people. We see that in onboarding, where people are surprised, why did this high potential person we just hired leave? Oh, they might have shared an office doing the onboarding with a mediocre person, thinking everybody at the company is mediocre, and deciding to leave all that, right? We don't know in recruiting itself who to hire with high potential. We can't do pay for performance, as we don't know where the high performance are. We can't do really succession management when we don't know where the right people are. And we cannot do... I'm missing one part. We cannot do effective learning because we don't know when people come back from learning if they really have improved, if they've really gotten better. So it's very important that the software vendors tackle performance management as something which does not work effectively right now. And it's good to see someone who is kind of like one of the inventors of performance management, SuccessFactors, starting that. And that was announced back at Success Connect in summer of last year in Las Vegas. And kudos, because it's always tough for software vendors to go back to what they're strong for, what they've done for, what they're known for. So kudos to SuccessFactors to go back to the drawing board. And what effectively they've done is thinking about, which also a good approach in my view, thinking about what are the high-level interactions between, not necessarily on the HR side, where the paycheck is the most regular ones, but on the leader to manager to employee side, leader to people who are being led. And that's, in the North American culture, the one-to-one. And the one-to-ones have not been supported, ironically, by HR software so far, both from the employee perspective, who's going to that and wants to remind on certain topics, both from manager perspective, wants to bring up certain things. It's all paper-based, all these famous binders. So I think it's an interesting way, a good start, a fresh thinking start to thinking about the one-to-one as the key vehicle to then bubble up through continuous performance management to get there. It's interesting that the one-to-one has been so underserved. It's also remarkable, last but not least, because traditionally SuccessFactors focus very much on underlying technology, lots of investment happening on Employee Central, the customer base not being so happy that less of an R&D love and focus is on the traditional talent management function of SuccessFactors. So it's good to see that as SuccessFactors is going back to the drawing board, going back to the core on that to performance management and doing some innovation there. Now we'll be back to see how customers and at the end of the day, managers and employees will use this new mobile application to support the one-to-one process better. Because if, again, same problem, if adoption of that tool fails for whatever reason there might be out there, pricing, usability issues, people can't find it, people are scared about being monitored too much, they cling to their notebooks, whatever the reason might be, then of course the whole continuous performance management, getting the longitudinal data for the performance review after 3 months, after half a year, out of the one-to-one meeting is going to fail again. But for now, it's a good and fresh start. I think SuccessFactors will have to look a little bit into the multicultural aspects of performance management too. As I mentioned earlier, one-to-one management very popular in the North American culture, but go to Mexico or go to Canada, you see it less. Go to Europe, you see it even less, right? There might be a monthly interaction or non-regular cycle for that. So finding the right way how to get to these high-frequency interactions, get to this very much on the fly ad hoc feedback, which we all know should be provided to employees. They deserve that, and should be provided to managers as they deserve it too. That's going to be the trick. And in some cultural areas, one-to-one is not going to be the high frequency piece. So think about another way of doing this, finding another vehicle for multicultural backgrounds. I think something SuccessFactors should look after. At the same time, clients should look after, because if I'm in Europe, say cultures I know well, this was in Spain last week, or if I go to Germany or go to Italy, the one-to-one that's formed doesn't exist. So you have to find, the SuccessFactors has to find, the general performance manager thing has to find a way how to get this done without even the formal one-to-one vehicle. But in the meantime, good news to see innovation. Always glad to see innovation with vendors happening. So it will be interesting to see adoption, and we'll be listening. Thanks for watching. As usual, this went a little longer than I thought. Appreciate it. Speak to you soon. Bye-bye.